Hi, I'm Rob Vischer. This is Wow God Short Stories. Today, I'm in a truck and I'm here with my buddy Cody Stevens. And I decided, because his story is so interesting, to put a microphone in front of him and let him talk about some things that God has done in his life.
I had not had any real relationships, romantic relationships in my life. I've had a one-sided relationship in college that was not reciprocated. I was romantically interested, she was not. And it had certainly been a struggle of loneliness and feeling a desire to have a family, to have a spouse, seeing that in my parents and the joy that it brought them in our family. That was very hard to deal with that. And incidentally, my two best friends, which I kept in touch with since I was very young, had not found spouses either. And we were all about the same age, and no one was having any luck. So it was pretty difficult. I had prayed many times for God to bring me a spouse and pursued many options to try to find one. And I had just prayed that God would make me content. And over that year, I had found more contentment in the idea that maybe I won't find a spouse in my early life, and maybe not ever. And it was that year that I met Jessie. I had moved my business next door to hers. She had an art studio, and she was looking for someone to run their Dungeons and Dragons group, which probably sounds kind of not Christian, but everyone involved were Christians, and we were just having fun. And they didn't have anyone to run it, and I had played Dungeons and Dragons with some work friends before, and I really like storytelling, so I volunteered to be the dungeon master. And we got a lot of time to spend together just playing games and then talking afterward for a long time. But the struggle I had was not that she wasn't cool. She knew God was real, but she had a more fledgling theology or clarity about who God was and who she was with God. So there wasn't like a clear checkbox that this is a good idea. I also didn't feel anything. And honestly, that was the thing that disturbed me the most. And so I called my mom and asked her, shouldn't I be feeling something? Shouldn't I love this person? Shouldn't I be feeling like affectionate feelings toward this person? And I had felt nothing in 8 years or something since that relationship I had in college, where I legitimately felt kind of love struck. So I knew what the feeling was, and it wasn't there. I was really bothered by this. So I also had not discussed any of this with Jessie. We were not officially dating. We were spending dating amount of time or more together, but we were not officially dating. So I prayed for 3 things, and I remember where I was driving on my way to my house. I remember the spot. And I asked him for 3 things. One, I asked him for a sign that some piece or sign that from Jessie that she loved me. 2, that I would have feelings for her, because I felt like that was really important for me to take this to the next step. And 3, that I would have peace about her love for God. Not her theology, none of that, just her love for God. Then that night, we actually were watching Avatar: The Last Airbender together, the animated series, to be clear, not the despicable film adaptation. After that, the other people left in our social group, and we hung out a little longer. And she asked, do you like me? And I said, yeah. I felt such a breaking of ease in my heart, in my soul, because she started crying, and she hates crying. She almost never cries because she hates it so much. And she started crying and asked me that. And I felt a tremendous sense of the presence of God in that moment, that this was the validation of the sign that she reciprocated feelings for me as well. And we ended up having a longer conversation, and I told her about those things that I had prayed, and she poured out her heart about what relationship meant to her and God. And I had total peace from that day as well. And I knew a lot about what she, ostensibly said about God, but I had total peace that she loved God. The next morning, I woke up with butterflies, feeling like almost like trembling hands, a level of kind of anxious excitement and intense emotion for Jesse. And I was convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that was the Lord. I had buried and barricaded romantic interest from my heart because it was painful, and I had not done any requisite work to break through those barriers. So I had strong confirmation within one day of all three things I asked of God, and I have never in my life had such a strong, total peace that God had given me direct direction and answered prayer. And so I was immediately convinced this is the woman I'm going to marry, and nothing could have convinced me otherwise. My family is now blessed with 2 kiddos, Lucy and Dean, 3 and 2 respectively. We have a third on the way. We don't know what they are yet, and we're not going to find out till they're born. Yes, and it's really brave of my wife because she really hates surprises.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much, Cody. And I appreciate you sharing your story with us. And I'm glad that led to some beautiful children. If you have a Wow God story, we'd love to hear it. Click the link in the show notes and tell us about the moment that made you say, Wow God.